All right, our next storyteller is Lorrie, and she is a wife, mother, and Mimi to 4 grandchildren. She is blessed to have been able to practice as a registered nurse for over 30 years in the field of women's and newborns health. Her spare time is spent gardening, hiking with her husband, and playing with her grandkids. Let's give her a round of applause.
A while back, I met my daughter Kate for lunch. She was sharing with me her frustrations of parenting a teenage daughter. You know, the guy drama, the phone drama, the friend drama. At one point she looked at me and said, "Mom, I don't know how you did that." I looked at her and said, "Do you have any regrets?" She knew what I was talking about. 14 years ago, my daughter Kate and her older sister walked into the kitchen. "Mom, we have something to tell you." I took one look at my 16-year-old daughter and I said, "You're pregnant, right?" My dear, sweet Caitlin, lover of all things stray and broken. Matt certainly was both of those. Just out of rehab, still on probation, kicked out of his parents' home. We met him after my daughter woke us up at 3 a.m. My friend, he got thrown out of his house and it's raining and it's cold and he's walking down the street and he doesn't have a coat. "Dad, will you go pick him up?" So my husband did. The next day, my husband called Matt's parents and negotiated his way back home. I sat on my daughter's bed while she told me more about Matt. And I listened, and before I left the room, I said, "Now, Caitlin, you know if you ever want birth control, it's okay, just let me know." "What do you think I am, Mom, a slut?" "No, Caitlin, I don't think you're a slut. But I know that Matt is a 19-year-old guy. And whether you're willing to admit it or not, this is becoming more than a friendship. And while I'll do everything I can to get in my way of this, I have a sinking feeling that this isn't going to end well." So we're standing in the kitchen and we're talking about our options. Marriage? No. Graduation? Absolutely. When do we tell Dad? As soon as he gets home. What about our younger brothers? That can wait. Kate said she wanted to keep the pregnancy, but she didn't know what else to do. I said, "Well, this can wait too. We'll talk more when your dad gets home." So I went in my bedroom and I shut the door. I took a deep breath and then I just threw myself on the bed. And I sobbed in a way I've never sobbed before and I've never sobbed since. I was grieving the loss of the hopes and dreams we had for our daughter and the hopes and dreams she had for herself. And I knew it wasn't the end of the world, but I knew that certainly our world had changed, and so had the world of our daughter. So my husband got home and we went to talk to her, and she kept saying, I'm so sorry, just tell me what to do, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it." And I think we actually did something right in that moment, because we said, "No, Kate, this is your decision to make. We'll support you, but whatever you decide, we have to live with that for a short time, but you have to live with that for the rest of your life." I went to bed that night, but I didn't sleep much, maybe a couple hours. Had to get up and go to work the next day. And I was driving to work and I thought, how am I going to tell my friends that I work with? When should I tell them? And as OB nurses, we were pretty familiar with teen pregnancy. And while nurses are the most compassionate people I know, I'd heard some judgy comments like, "Geez, haven't they ever heard of birth control?" or "I did not know your teenage daughter's having sex." Now I decided this could wait till later. Well, later ended up being 11 o'clock that day, when my friend Molly walked into the break room and said, "Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." And then my story spilled out, but so did their support. I got cards in the mail, notes in my mailbox at work. I had them come up to me, some of them telling me stories about how they had a child when they were 16. And then later on, one dear friend who came to me gave me a big hug and said, "Lorrie, it's okay to be excited. You're going to be a grandma." And boy, did I need to hear that. And I really needed their support. Because my daughter's situation wouldn't be the same. because her friends were all there for her through the drama of the pregnancy, and then 2 weeks later, the scandal when Matt cheated with Caitlin's close friend. But then over time, one by one, I watched them drift away. I think it was the most heartbreaking thing was seeing Caitlin get excited to hang out with her friends on the weekend, only to have them cancel at the last minute or just plain not show up. It was really a sad time. I remember the day she made her decision. She came into the kitchen and she says, "Mom, I keep thinking, what if this child's like me? What if she's artistic and loves the outdoors? What if she ends up with parents that don't let her finger paint or play in the mud or run in the rain? What if she has parents that just don't get her? I have to keep her." And then I watched as my daughter turned her loneliness and isolation into a fierce determination, not just to keep a baby, but to parent her child. Anne was born a few months later. Kate would go back to school and graduate with her class. She would spend the summer working and saving her money. And believe it or not, that fall, I would load her and Anne into my van and drive them 3 hours away, where she would live with my mom while she pursued her dreams of being an art teacher. After one semester, she decided she loved art, but didn't like teaching. So she came back home to Dayton. But over the next 5 years, she got a job, her own apartment, childcare all arranged, and went back to school. She got a bachelor's degree in ultrasonography and a fiance. Her wedding day was one of the happiest days of my life. But probably the most significant day was when her husband's family and our family crowded into a small Montgomery County courthouse for Anne's adoption day. My daughter and my granddaughter had the husband and father they deserved. And I finally exhaled. A couple weeks ago, we were over at Kate's, and I went down the hall to my granddaughter's room. I knocked on her door. I opened it. I looked at all the shelves there covered in ribbons, sashes, and trophies from her over 8 years now as an Irish dancer. Anna Mae's sketches were tacked and taped all over her walls in random places. The floor was littered with colored ribbon. "I'm making hair ties for my Etsy store," she said. Before I left the room, she jumped up and played a little song for me on her keyboard. And then I went out to the kitchen. Again, the kitchen. I sat down with my daughter at the table. I said, "Wow, Kate, she is just so grown up." "I know, Mom. You know, I think sometimes, like, what would I do if I didn't know where she was or what she was doing? I just can't imagine not knowing her." Yeah, she has no regrets, and neither do I.
There's not a whole lot else to say, but wow. Let's give her another